Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 68. It's Ilya here, and as always I'm super thankful to see you here on my YouTube channel. As you know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what can we expect for the upcoming week. It was a pretty massive week, very volatile, very nice structure was created, and me and the team managed to capitalize on a lot of opportunities. So definitely I'm gonna be sharing a lot during this video, so make sure to stay till the end because it was really a lovely week. Some of the pairs are a little bit consolidative, didn't move too much. For example, the GBPs, they were very tricky to trade, but there we got some very nice manipulation trades, something that I'm practicing right now, so definitely excited for the future. I haven't shared many psychology and educational content recently because I started my studies as well, and it's a little bit tough, but soon I promise I'm gonna get back at it and you're gonna see much more for the channel. So make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell in order not to miss the content that is upcoming, and if you already did it, let's not miss any time because we have a lot to talk about. Let's kickstart the analysis with the DXY to have a look what can happen with the dollar and what actually happened this week, because you can see that we've been expecting this pullback for quite some volumes. We had this nice push to the downside, this nice pullback from a weekly time frame, and then we have this massive dump to the downside, and the market has been consolidating right here for quite a few weeks, and we had this very major daily level right here that the market was failing to break above. But as you can see this week, let me just adjust the level. Yeah, it's a zone, it's not a level, but we had it something like this for some volumes right now. But as you can see on the 4-hourly time frame, the market just came into that level, into market open, pulled back a little bit, so potentially some sellers came in because they're like, all right, we support resistance level, let's sell. But no, the market first of all created this triple bottom right here, so it was showing that the sellers weren't in control of the market. Then we created this high, beautiful, and then what we have to expect, if we remove that level, then we're perfectly long bias, actually breaking and retesting this structure right here, and then the market impulsed to the upside and started to create new uptrend, providing us with very nice opportunities on Euro USD, USD Swiss franc as well, Euro Swiss franc, and all of the other currencies. So very bullish week for the dollar, which was very beneficial for the other currencies as well. So if I zoom in right now, as I always do, I just analyze the 4-hourly time frame to have a look what is happening. So we're in a perfect uptrend right now. Where is the last higher low? Well, I would mark this whole area right here, maybe just make it a little bit smaller, something like this, to account for all of those wicks right here and all of those candles. Then from here, the market created a higher high, right? So what I have to wait for right now is just to see how the market is gonna pull back in around those areas, if it's gonna create another higher low, and then to potentially start pumping to the upside to create further higher highs. From a daily time frame, we had this inverse head and shoulders, and actually right now I believe the 62% was actually fulfilled. Nope, we still have a little bit more to the 62. We fulfilled the 27, but still have a little bit of a push to the 62, which is really possible to be tapped. So let's see what do we have. It looks a little bit extended to the upside, but as long as, remember guys, as long as the market is making bullish structure, we don't sell. All right, higher high, higher low right here, higher low right here, higher low right here. Right now we're waiting for another higher low in order to buy the market. So let's see if the DXY is going to continue bullish. If it doesn't, then we immediately turn bearish. Euro USD weekly time frame, what do we have right here? So again, we see the same big box of consolidation, and right now the market is finally breaking below this weekly bearish engulf, closing below all of that consolidation actually. So this is a very bearish signal, but keep in mind that we're overall in an uptrend, and with this massive push to the upside, we can soon like start tapping the FIPS 50%, 61.8%. The 61.8% actually more aligns with this sort of wicks right here, with this sort of structure. So maybe we're gonna see some reaction from a weekly time frame, but again, I am not trading the weekly, I'm trading the lower time frames, and the lower time frames will tell me first when the market is starting to change. And as you can see from a daily time frame, we have this consolidation box. The market actually created a little lower high right here, and right now we're strongly flushing to the downside, creating a beautiful lower low with a nice push to the downside, and we are right now officially in a downtrend. All right, So what did we have this week for EU? Let me see where the week opened. Yeah, it opened at the top right here, and we got a straight flush to the downside. And then the first opportunity was right here, potentially around those areas to take a short. Then the market pushed lower, created this little indecision candle, then created another push to the downside, basically creating a lower low. And then what I expected is for the market to come back again to test that area, which exactly did this. And then we had a third opportunity for a lower high right here. And if I drop to the hourly time frame, this one was a little bit tricky. It was taken from right here, from this wick. So if I drop to the 15-minute first, let me show you. Is that the first opportunity? Yes, it is. So this one was very tricky. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't get an entry on that one, to be honest, because I was looking for a retest right here. But some got from this wick because it was a retest of structure again. And then the market flushed nicely to the full take profit. And then again, we had this push to the upside to gather liquidity. And then we started to flush to the downside. So this wasn't actually a trade for me. But let me see which trade. Yeah, I took this one. This one was a little bit tricky. But let me explain something to you guys. A little tip from me. So when you see, so as you saw from the 4 hourly time frame, you had this just one candle of pullback, and then you had a straight flush to the downside. So not enough liquidity was grabbed to the upside. So we didn't have a clear pullback, but we just had one candle, and then the next one flushed to the downside. So when such occasion occurs, then you can expect always a liquidity grab to the upside, right? And look what happened. So we tried to push down, the market consolidated, and then with strong bullish pressure, we advanced into the highs, breaking this structure to the pip. So all the people were stopped out. As you can see, nice push into the highs, and then the market started to slow down right here. And I actually took the trade exactly from right here. It was a 5-minute, but it's something else. Because if I zoom in, you will see the break and the retest right here. So I took a trade from right here, and I rode it to the downside to the take profit, which was at Fibonacci level that we use. As you can see, something like this. Yeah, I took it a little bit to the upside, but as you can see, this was the zone where the profits were taken. So Euro USD was a little bit different trade that I usually trade, but it's something new that I'm testing out, and it's working very, very nice. And then again, on Friday, I didn't take any trades, and I believe the market did not provide an opportunity as well. We had this double top, but once the market gave us the entry, it actually didn't pull back, so it was pretty hard to catch. But yeah, 2 opportunities were taken on Euro USD, making it a very nice and profitable pair for the week. So right now, if we have a look what is happening right now, is I see this level right here broken and retested. So we have this lower high formation being formed. Beautiful top of the EMA, which is the EMA is something that we use, but which I cannot explain right here because it's part of the mentorship program. And right now we have a nice push to the downside, creating a lower low. So very similar to the DXY, guys. We just have to see for the market if it's gonna pull back around those areas, if it's gonna show us some rejections for a potential lower high, and then if it's gonna continue down for the creation of new lower lows. As simple as that. So let's wait for Monday to open, and then potentially we can strike on Tuesday. Euro JPY weekly time frame, this pair was a little bit consolidative. You see that we have a beautiful bearish candle to the downside. However, this was made like in the beginning of the week, and as you can see, we have 4 days of consolidation at the bottom, and it was just Monday that flushed to the downside to actually create that bearish candle with a wick on the bottom as well. So there were a lot of people buying. Then we filled that wick, and then we stayed right here for 4 days, making it very hard to catch a trade. And actually the only trade that could have been taken, which I didn't, was from right here. This was Monday, yeah, but it was Monday night, like Monday open. And if you managed to capitalize on that move, but it was a little bit tricky. Like the only signs that I had was that the market was making those little like lower highs right here, but an entry from my strategy wasn't provided, so I couldn't capitalize on this move to the downside. And as you can see, what happened later is the market just entered into a consolidation, failing to break the highs and failing to break the lows as well. So guess what? What we have to do right now is to wait for a clear introduction of pressure, either to the upside or to the downside. I don't care. I just flow with the market, and if it starts breaking to the downside, clearly staying below, then coming back for a lower high, then I will take a short. If it goes above, staying above, not just push and a break below. This is a fake out, so always make sure to wait for clear breaks of structure, clear pullbacks right here with a higher low, and then potentially we can continue to the upside. Of course, the market can just continue to bounce between that support and resistance levels. I don't trade ranges because I find there are a little bit low probability. So on Euro JPY, very simple, just waiting for some momentum to be introduced, and make sure to stay for the Tuesday analysis because by that time we might have some pressure. Euro Aussie weekly time frame, after consolidating for 3 weeks right here, we finally have a bullish move. Right now what worries me is that it's entering into this very strong support and resistance level, but let's see how it's gonna deal with it. As you can see from a daily time frame, the market just opened, like we had a little bit of a slowdown right here, then on Tuesday we had a little bit of a slowdown, but then Wednesday and Thursday were massive days, and I actually managed to capitalize on GBP AUD, which I'm gonna show you later. So yeah, pretty nice, but I couldn't catch this one. It was a little bit tricky, and the only opportunity was from right here. So as you can see, when the market made that move to the upside, it was a very clear high, and I don't care of all of that support and resistance levels. I'm looking for longs because I follow the current market structure, push to the upside, pull back. So the only trade could have been taken from right here, but again, it was getting a little bit consolidative and I couldn't find an entry. Like, it created a triple top, but it was kind of entering into a consolidation. But what happened later is, from the hourly time frame, this happened. Unfortunately for me, this was during Asia. As you can see, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, this move was made, so I couldn't get into that trade, and I couldn't get in the morning right here from the downside because I just wasn't provided with the opportunity that I usually look for. So pretty unfortunate for me on Euro Aussie because I couldn't capitalize on this move, because like the only opportunity was right here around these areas, either at the Asia or either from the bottom right here, and then the market just massively advanced to the upside without a stop. All right. So what do we have right now? As you can see from a daily time frame, we have this massive push. So definitely I would expect a little bit of a retracement right here from a daily perspective. And as well, we're having this very strong resistance. So definitely we can expect some sort of a pullback. And what do we have from a 4 hourly time frame perspective? Like, the market started to slow down right here and actually broke most recent structure, tried to create a lower low, then came back again to test this area. So definitely very curious to see what's going to happen on Euro Aussie. I don't think it's going to continue to pump to the upside. It's absolutely possible, and if it actually does something like this, then I will potentially start just continue to buy this market. But if this structure is broken right here, potentially, then we can have a short into a daily Fibonacci level, and then we can start to pump to the upside. So on Euro Aussie, if I just mark, I want to see how the market is going to react to this area right here and to this sort of resistance areas right here. And if I delete this thing, here is your analysis. Resistance level, support level. Let's see how the market does. We do this every week, guys, and you can see that it's working to perfection. So let's just see how those most recent levels are gonna hold, and then we're gonna just flow with the market. Euro Swiss franc was a pair that provided a beautiful opportunity this week, so let's have a look. From a weekly time frame, nothing much. We pushed strongly to the downside, but we found support from the EMA as well, and we managed to push all the way to the upside. Daily time frame, what did we have? So the week started right here, 21st of September, with a bearish candle grabbing liquidity to the downside. But have a look at this support, guys. Like, it's very major. The market is really failing to break below this support, and this was just tapped into this pool right here of orders, started to consolidate, and then we had this move to the upside, which was actually pretty nice. So what I want you to see right here is, I'm just gonna drop a fib, and I'm gonna take the 27% target. So I spotted this a little bit later, but I was pretty surprised because this was just a push and a pullback, and then we had this accumulation phase. So I took my trade from right here after this bullish candle. Then we had a pullback, hourly time frame, nice push with a break of structure on the left, with a break of this downtrend as well. Pullback, beautiful support is formed right here. 15-minute time frame. The entry was taken from right here. After all the rules were ticked, we take the trade. Where is that? We'll take the trade from right here. Stop loss, always below structure. However, I took my trade a little bit earlier because I have my immediate take profit area, which is exactly right here, like between this zone. Yep, so I take my profit right here for a nice 2.5 R&R, and then the market actually completely went into this 27% extension from the 4-hourly time frame and just tapped it right there, turning this into a very massive trade, like 4.87 R&R, which I missed, but I'm happy with my 2.5 R&R, so that is perfectly fine. But as you can see, very simple trade, just following the structure, just following the overall momentum, just waiting for that perfect entry to be presented, and then just pulling the trigger and riding it to the upside. So Euro Swiss franc, beautiful long opportunity. Make sure to go in your chart, have a look how you could have capitalized on this move, and let me know if you have any questions. Let's have a look at the Aussie, starting from AU. As you can see, massive weekly candle to the downside, engulfing all of those small weekly candles to the left. So this is pretty significant. However, it didn't provide us with a clear opportunities for short. As you can see, this was a high right here. Then we created this lower high, which wasn't clear by that time because we were looking at push pullback for potential longs. However, it's clear to see that the market is failing to break above. And then on Monday, the market just kickstarted the week with a massive bearish engulf. And then I believe on Tuesday, on Tuesday was the only opportunity that I saw to get short on AU, and I couldn't get short, but some of my team actually got short. And as you can see later, we just have this, which is a one candle of pullback, which is not pretty nice. Usually does not provide with a nice setup. And then the market just continued to roll to the downside. And right here we had a little bit of a consolidation, which made it a little bit tricky to catch a short. But again, as you can see, the only opportunity was up here. And if I go to the hourly time frame, again, we have the market returning. This was the trade that I took on Euro USD, but this is just Aussie USD. As you can see, the market comes to grab liquidity to the upside, then pushes lower, comes back for a lower high formation, breaks below, and retests this structure. So this was a trade that was taken, a little bit unclear, but eventually it ended up going to our take profit, as you can see right here, to perfection. And then it just continued to roll to the downside. And we had a great discussion with my team this week that we just have to implement some runners, to let some runners, and we actually came up with something, so that's pretty nice. And later, as you can see on Friday, we had this nice uptrend and the market started to pump to the downside, but unfortunately no opportunity was provided on the 15-minute. The only opportunity was provided right here, but the market was already creating lows, so it was a little bit too late. So unfortunately, I couldn't catch a trade on Aussie USD. So what do we have right here is this lower high formation. So as I say, as always, as long as the market remains below that lower high, we keep selling, right? So let's see if the market is going to pull back around those areas. All of those pairs are the same, Euro USD, Aussie USD, and NU as well. Let's have a look if we have a pullback, and then potentially the market can continue lower. In case of a break of this area, then we can change our bias, or in case of any structure being created right here, there could be a potential consolidation. Then we will just stay out and we just have to follow the market. So short bias on AU. Let's see what do we have for AJ. AJ as well, very massive bearish engulfing to the downside, but again, this was even harder to catch a short trade on because it was a little bit slow. It was just like rolling to the downside. But as you can see, again, very clear, we had this lower high formation created, and then the market just continued to melt to the downside. It didn't come back for a daily retest right here. Like, it wasn't a strong push to the downside, but a clear pullback. We don't have this. The market just rolled to the downside, and as you can see from a quality perspective, it's not even that clear. Aussie USD was clearer. Right here we have a push, like wicks, push, wick, push, wicks. It's just not clear. And even if I drop to the hourly time frame, yes, we can try to capitalize on those little moves, but I didn't even try. So no trades were taken on AJ this week. Not sure if some of the team took, but if we focus again right now on what is happening with the market. So again, we have the same equal lower high level, because you can see the market, this is a liquidity zone. The market goes down to create a lower low, then comes all the way up to tap that area again to come back to its mean value, and right now it's sitting at the bottom. So no immediate trade is going to be taken. And again, I'm going to see how the market will react to the support. Is it going to break? Is it going to find support to come for a triple top? Is it going to find support and break above, retest, and turn into a bullish market? We don't know. So let's see what's going to happen. Just keeping those two areas right here. Currently, I don't see a potential setup, and I would expect a little bit of a daily pullback on this one as well, because have a look, it's been flushing like without a bullish candle. So definitely we can expect some sort of a pullback, and if that pullback starts and if this lower high is broken, then we can potentially capitalize on a few longs until the market starts to distribute again and start turning to the downside from a daily perspective. So always make sure to be aware of the cycles. Like, we have weekly cycles, we have daily cycles, and if you're aware of those, you can just flow with the market. All right, so for now, looking for shorts on AJ, but this is not the nicest place to short, so let's just wait for something better. Let's have a quick look on the entities, because they're more or less the same as the Aussies. Massive bearish engulfing candle right here on the weekly time frame after creating this little double top, little resistance area right here, and right now actually breaking the neckline, which is pretty nice. And if I drop to the daily time frame, have a look at this beautiful double top, picture perfect double top. And right now, if we have a look for the textbook setup, the market should come back to the neckline to retest, and then we can potentially start rolling to the downside. And actually this daily push, it looks very nice, extremely nice, because have a look, nice push with a break of structure, and we can definitely expect the market to come from a daily perspective around those areas. And if I have a look on the 4 hourly time frame, so the only opportunity, again very similar to the Aussie, was from right here. Very tricky to catch. I think that, yeah, this is exactly the time that I was taking the EU trade. All the pairs behaved the same. As you can see, this went for a liquidity grab and then actually created this head and shoulders formation. I think some of the team took it because it's one of our setups as well. So definitely a pretty nice short trade. And if you manage to run it to the downside, it was massive, 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 massive. As for right now, as we said, make sure to remember the daily chart that I just drew. We are expecting a daily pullback. So right now the market is, yeah, it has changed a little bit, and what I spotted is a long setup, because right here we have this equal lower high, but then the market rose above and it was coming back for a retest, so there was a potential long around those areas, but this was Friday, so I don't take it, and I'm glad that I didn't because it rose to the downside. And right now I'm very curious to see how the market is going to develop around those areas. So we have this low, but what I would expect is the market to start creating a little bit of a bullish structure for that pullback on the daily time frame, and then we can start rolling to the downside. All right, but this is just pure speculation, so let's see how the market will react either to this area right here, which looks like a lower high with this overall downtrend, but I would really expect the market to start pulling back. However, if it breaks below, comes back, then I will just short it, right? I just follow the market. So NZUSD overall bearish bias, but let's see what do we have, because I expect a little bit of a daily pullback. NZDJPY, absolutely the same. We have this triple top right here, very nice, and right now we're having a nice bearish candle to the downside. From a daily time frame, you can see how this daily push running to the highs to stop out all of the people with their stop losses above this area, pushed to the downside, pulled back to create this lower high formation, and then we massively flushed to the downside, creating a beautiful daily push. So right now we can drop from swing high to swing low, and we can expect the market to come around those areas. As you can see, the structure is exactly right here, aligning with the perfect 61.8 and 50% pocket. So here is your daily analysis, guys, just in a few seconds. All right, so knowing that, I can see that this market is already changing to the upside. We have this push pullback, equal lower high, one candle of pullback, higher high, potentially creating a higher low. So I would wait to see how the market is gonna react to this one. Are we gonna push to the downside to manipulate to catch more orders, or are we gonna just straight start pumping to the upside, breaking this structure? I don't know. So let's have a look for Monday. Let's wait for Monday and let's see how the market is gonna develop between those two areas. You know that we're looking for an overall retest around those areas, so we have quite a lot of range to capitalize on a long trade. So let's see, let's be patient. We can either just wait for that pullback and take a short, or we can go counter trend as well. If we manage to get a higher high, then a higher low, and then we can ride it to the upside around 70. Like 70 is a very good round number that can be tapped. So let's see what happens. But just right now, trying to figure out if this structure is actually turning bullish. Are we gonna come create a double top, then reverse? Definitely have to see on Monday, and make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday Telegram analysis. USDJPY weekly time frame, beautiful long opportunities this week because we had an early shift of market structure, which I'm gonna show you right now. So from a weekly time frame, nothing much. We have a bullish candle, but yeah, we're overall trending to the downside, so nothing pretty significant from the weekly time frame. Daily time frame, what I'm spotting right here is that we have this nice push to the downside, and right now this could be a pullback. Currently the market has broken above the 61.8, trying to tap the 78.6, which is the last resort for the market to go down. But again, I'm gonna be seeing the 4 hourly time frame, which is gonna tell me when the market is actually going to shift, if it's gonna shift. So first opportunity right here, the market was perfectly trending to the downside, push to the downside, lower high formation, lower low formation, but then we have this nice introduction of bullish pressure, breaking above this structure, breaking above the EMA, and this was just a picture perfect trade. Going to the hourly time frame, we have this nice push to the upside, this nice correction right here, like a flag. This little manipulation below right here to catch all people stop losses, and then what do we have is this little inverse head and shoulders right here, break of the most previous structure, which is right here. The entry was taken right here with perfect confluence with everything. Stop loss can be placed below this little structure, which is what I did, and then our take profit is As always, we have a measurement for the take profit. It was exactly right here, resulting in a nice 4.4 R&R trade. And then actually the next day, let me have a look. Another trade was taken, which was a little bit risky, but it was around those areas. And if I just jump on the 50-minute, here it is. So we had a break of this structure right here after creating a little bit of a downtrend, a little bit of pullback, and the market actually respected those areas. You can see a double bottom, and then we have this the market nicely emerging above and coming back to retest, but this was a little bit risky and I didn't take this one. Because the market went a little bit too far away from where we would like to enter, and then the stop loss has to become huge, and then your risk to reward ratio has to be around 1 to 2. But again, it was a very good one, hitting the take profit, and then we had some days right here of consolidation. So 2 beautiful trades on USD/JPY this week. And again, if I try to see what can happen, as I told you, from a daily time frame perspective, we might have a push to the downside right now. But as you can see how the market perfectly respected this higher low formation right now, and it's actually trying to create a higher high. Not really major, because if I drop this area, I was broken and it was kind of retested. But what I want to see is how the market is going to deal with this newly created resistance, because you can see right now it's resistance. It has pushed, created a wick, and right now we have a bearish candle. So for USD/JPY, again, I will go short only if I have a change of direction. So as you can see from the bottom right here, this was a clear change of direction. And if I have something like this right here, then I will definitely short this market with the overall bearish daily time frame. But as for right now, I don't see either a short or a long. The market can consolidate right here. The market can continue up, break and retest, continue higher, or break and retest to the downside to continue lower. So let's let Monday play out. Let's see what do we have, and then make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis, where we're gonna see what do we have. USD CAD weekly time frame, what do we have here is a nice bullish candle to the upside, but unfortunately it was a little bit hard to catch a trade on this one. So as you can see from Monday, the market just skyrocketed to the upside. Then we had one day of consolidation, then we had another very strong push to the upside, and then we have this beautiful tweezer top formation. So let's see what do we have from a full hourly perspective. So as you can see right here, this was Monday, the market just opened a little bit of a consolidation right here, and all of a sudden it exploded to the upside, right? Breaking all the structure on the left. So potential opportunity could have been taken around right here, but I looked at it as a little bit too high, and it just started to consolidate as well. So I couldn't see any trade. As you can see, like support, resistance. Then we had a break and a retest again, but as you can see, it was like 6-7 o'clock. This is around London. Yeah, this is London close as well, so definitely not a nice time to be taking a trade. And then afterwards the market like pushed down, consolidated, pushed up again for a double top. So definitely I couldn't see anything interesting for USD CAD. And what do we have right now? Again, as always, trying to mark the high and the low to have a look where the market is reacting from a most recent perspective. Those are the 2 levels that I'm going to be monitoring. Currently, the market is perfectly in a bullish, like in the bullish trend. We have that push, we have that pullback, potential higher low is being created. Then the market tried to break it, but failed. But this is exactly market close, so we cannot say too much. So definitely, I would love to see how the market is gonna behave around those 2 areas. And as long as it stays above this area, if it doesn't create, like for example, lower highs right here to be taking a trade, then I'm gonna be looking for longs, right? But let's see, the market can push above, break, retest, and then continue higher. Or as I said, from a daily perspective, we have this tweezer top. So potentially we might have a little bit of a pullback to the downside and around those areas. So let's see what we will have on USD CAD. Currently looking at this double top and making sure to monitor how does it react to those 2 zones. The bullishness of the DXY provided us with a very massive bullish candle on USD Swiss franc as well, breaking above all of those like resistance lines right here. The resistance levels are really emerging above, so this is pretty significant. Daily time frame, you can see that this resistance was just crushed, right? We have this like little inverse head and shoulders, like a double bottom. This was a higher low, and then we just exploded to the upside, creating this beautiful daily push to the upside on USD Swiss franc. So again, guys, when you see a huge push, then we can definitely expect a pullback, because this is how the market moves, dropping to the 4-hourly time frame. First opportunity right here, second opportunity right here, and even the third one right here, which was a little bit aggressive. But again, it was a nice break and retest of structure. So dropping to the hourly time frame. As you can see, the same pattern repeats. The market taps, bounces, then pushes, bounces, pushes. And again, we have a few bounces right here. I didn't take any trades on USD Swiss. I took Euro Swiss franc, but this one still provided some setups, but it wasn't one of the cleanest pairs. This was the only setup that was clear right here. Downtrade, a little bit of a downtrade break and retest. So this was the only trade that was taken actually yeah, we analyzed this one, but I didn't take it. But this was the only trade that I saw as perfect on USD Swiss franc. Downtrade right here, break, retest right here, and then we continue to take profit to perfection. So very nice pair this week. USD Swiss franc, I didn't take any trades in it though. So what can we expect, guys? As you can see, this is just straight pushing to the upside, and as I said, from a daily time frame, we can expect a pullback. And where is the most recent higher low? I see this right here, those wicks as a higher low, because this is a higher low, but then we push higher. This is a bearish candle, then we have wick, wick, wick. So if I drop to the hourly time frame, you're gonna see that there is structure created right here. So right now the market is creating a higher high, and I'm just gonna see how this one is gonna open, because we're having massive pressure to the upside, like it's almost in a linear fashion. So definitely would love to see some sort of a pullback first before starting to go long. But definitely if the market pulls back in these areas right here and really finds support, really fails to break below, then potentially we can look for longs. But again, let's see what Monday has for us, because the market can just plummet, break this structure right here, so we can then shift to shorts and target potentially a daily Fibonacci, something like this. You can see 38.2 and 50% perfectly aligned with that structure that was broken. So potentially this can be a potential pullback level of USD Swiss franc. All right, let's have a look at the GBPs. As always, starting from GU, what do we have? We have a bearish weekly candle engulfing the previous candle right here, even with the wicks. So this is pretty significant, and it says that we have a bearish week and we can potentially expect another bearish week ahead. Also from a daily time frame perspective, we have this beautiful push, this beautiful pullback that perfectly pulled back into this structure right here and to tap the EMA to come back to its mean value. Then we pushed lower as well to create a lower low, and right now we're consolidating at the bottom. Potentially the market is about to provide us with a daily pullback and then potentially head lower. So this is my outlook from the daily time frame perspective. Then dropping to the hourly time frame, there were beautiful opportunities as well. The first one was right here, taken from right here. This was on Monday though, so I didn't trade on Monday. Then the second one was right here, but this is not with a strategy that I use. This is more manipulation trading. This is something new that I'm working on. And then the second one was from right here. So as you can see, the GBPs love to do fancy stuff for our London Open, and it's definitely pretty hard to catch some trades. But I did manage to catch short from right here and from right here, which was pretty nice, but I'm not gonna break it down in this video. And if we have a look what is happening right now, so basically the market is respecting these areas right here. So we had this lower low that was broken, right now retested with a little wick on top right here that got all the stop losses right here. So that's pretty nice to see. And right now we have the supportive level that is fading to break below. So knowing what the daily time frame might do, we can expect the market to provide us with a little bit of a pullback right here, so that we can look for a lower high and then potentially to start selling the markets. All right, so we're looking for shorts on GBP USD, but currently it's looking just in this consolidation, so I'm not seeing a setup. So definitely we have to wait for Monday to open, for London to open, even New York to pass, in order to see actually what the market is cooking for us. And then going to GJ, very tricky, because you see that we had this consolidation, then we had this nice fake out, then the market went inside the consolidation, then we had this push to the downside, little pullback on Monday, and then we flushed to the downside. So potential shorts could have been taken right here from a lower high perspective, but I didn't trade GJ this week. I just documented some trades as well. This was a trade from the downside, and then this one as well. But again, as I said, I'm not gonna break them down in this video. And if I have a look what can potentially happen on GJ, so what I spotted on this one was actually pretty interesting, is this break of this structure. So we had a push pullback, lower high. We tried to make that lower low, but we failed. This wick was filled, and then we have this nice introduction of buyers even breaking above this structure on the left. And then we have the retest. So I took a long from right here. And as you can see how the market nicely tapped into that area, broke, retested again right here exactly, and then we started to move up. But actually the take profit, it was a little bit above and it wasn't hit. Then the market consolidated, and I'm not sure exactly where I closed. So yeah, one trade on GJ this week, but it was definitely a little bit tricky. And if I have a look right now at the structure, again, I can see that the market is respecting this level on top and this level on the bottom. So again, Let's see how the market is gonna behave between those two areas. We have a nice push to the downside from a daily and a beautiful pullback already that is topping potentially the 50% FIP as well. Have a look. Yep, exactly right here. So I am definitely looking for shorts. All right, so let's see, potentially the market can find resistance right here, potentially breaking a retest right here from a lower high perspective. Definitely looking for shorts. If the market doesn't break above, come back for a retest and continue higher. So let's see on GJ, let's wait for Monday to develop. Let's see how the market reacts to those two areas right here, and then we are gonna strike the market. GA, beautiful long opportunity that I regret not holding. So I had one actually one of you guys from the YouTube community sharing with me, yo bro, you should think of a way to just let those runners run, like have trailing stop losses. And this is the perfect example. So I took a trade from right here. If I show you just the 15-minute time frame, just to have the perfect entry, break of structure right here, the entry was taken on this bearish candle, the stop loss was below right here, and guess where my take profit was? It was around these areas right here. Yep, so it was a nice 2.5, exactly 2.5 R&R. Have a look where the market went later. Oops, have a look what percentage of the move that I had, and later it moved all the way to 13R. Definitely something to think about, guys. But this was, what was this trade? Let me just explain. Like we had this consolidation right here, then the market emerged above, came back, left a rejection right here. The hourly time frame provided us with a nice push and a nice pullback with a retest of the previous structure. We had the market forming support, and then on the 15-minute we had the market creating a little downtrend, slowing down right here, breaking above the EMA, retesting as well from the other side, and then we catch a long trade. But our take profit is very quick, and I didn't leave a runner, so I missed on all of that move. But again, I'm happy with what I had, but definitely something to think about leaving some runners. What we have right now is the market massively imposing to the upside, pulling back right now, trying to create this higher low formation, trying to push up again. But right now we have to deal with this area right here, and I can see that the market is already forming a little bit of resistance right here. So again, guys, I usually don't like to analyze on the weekend, and I always analyze on Tuesday morning. Like Monday, I always have a look on the charts on Monday, but then I would love to have a look on Tuesday, because by that time the structure has completely changed. All right, so from a daily time frame perspective, we have a huge push. We can expect the pullback, definitely, and this is potentially gonna provide us with a little shift of the trend. So if this lower high holds, then we can have something like this. All right, so on GA, I don't want to shout anything right now. Like, I'm overall looking for buys, but just the opportunity is not here right now, and I would definitely love to see how the market behaves between those areas. Finally, two beautiful short opportunities on Euro GBP. So weekly time frame, the market went overall down after providing us with this little pullback. Daily time frame, like we had a beautiful push, a beautiful pullback, but again, we don't pay too much attention to the daily, because look what the full hourly did. And this was actually called by a member on our Wednesday webinar. He said, have a look at this. Like, we have this because we were speaking about our entries, and he said that they work like structure is everywhere. Like, if you just learn how to analyze market structure, you will see those formations on every time frame. Right here, we had that nice break, that nice retest right here, and from an hourly time frame perspective, a beautiful push with a beautiful correction, and the trade was taken after this bearish candle. Then we have a retracement exactly from right here. Euro GBP short trade, stop loss above the structure, and take profit. Let me just tell you where the take profit was, exactly right here to the downside. And as you can see, a beautiful 3.5 R&R trade. And then what happened later, I think there was another short setup. The market pushed lower, it pulled back again right here to form a lower high. Again, you can see break of the structure coming back for a retest. Hourly time frame, but yeah, I didn't take this one. I didn't take this one because it was a little bit tricky. As you can see, we climbed to the upside, so I think some of the guys took it from right here. Right here, it was slowing down. It pushed lower, but failed to make a new lower low. Then it exploded to the upside to stop us out, to stop break even, and to stop all the people that had their stop losses above right here, and then flushed to the downside. But it was all that mess. So yeah, just on Euro GBP, not to make it too complicated, this was a picture perfect short opportunity, both from a full hourly perspective, both from an hourly perspective, and everything aligned perfectly. All right, so make sure to go into your charts and have a look how you could have traded it. Right now, as I said, we had a break of this structure overall and the market is staying below. Right now, we're trying to break this supportive level on the bottom. So again, as always, guys, we have our two zones. Let's see where the market is going to go. Are we going to break in the retest to the downside, potentially to fulfill the lows and create a new downtrend? Are we going to find support and potentially consolidate? Or are we going to find support and break in the retest to the upside? Again, three scenarios, but it's all about flowing with the market and just seeing what it will do. All right. So those are the GBPs, some pretty nice opportunities are aligning. Just make sure to wait a little bit on Monday for the market to play out, and then we are gonna strike. Having a little look on gold, guys, because it's very interesting. We had this nice push, like gold reached all-time highs. Then we had this pullback and the market was really consolidating, making it very hard to see and to actually predict where it wants to go. But right now we have this massive weekly bearish engulfing to the downside. And as you can see, since the market opened, which is right here, 21st of September, we had a little bit, no, exactly, the market opened and it just started to flush to the downside, broke the levels, continued down, and right now we are creating a new lower low. So just from a structural perspective, not that fundamental, I would definitely expect a little bit of a pullback, lower high from a daily time frame, and then a continuation down. This is pure technical. Gold usually likes more news as well, and it's correlated to the DXY and the overall situation of how the dollar and the US economy is doing. But as you can see, we had the DXY really starting to strengthen up, and gold actually provided us with this nice move to the downside. I didn't take any shorts on gold, just so you know. Right now we're having this lower high formation, beautifully tapped into the mean value of price, and we have the market currently to deal with the low, already finding some support. And where is price right now? It's exactly in the middle of this range. So what do? I just wait to see what the market is gonna do. It can potentially come back into this area to form a double top potentially and to roll to the downside. It can potentially continue down, break and retest. It can consolidate as well. And as I keep telling you, like in my whole analysis, always make sure to flow with the market, and whatever it does, know where your structure is, know what structure is broken, know the trend as well, and this will really change your trading. All right, right now we are in a short bias market. The market is in the middle, so there is no opportunity, but yeah, you just have to wait for the structure to develop, and then we can have definitely a trade on gold because the volume is to the downside. And as I said, from a daily time frame, massive push to the downside. More shorter term, I would expect a little bit of longs, but then again, the market is gonna find resistance and potentially roll to the downside. So let's see what do we have on gold. And again, make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis. And quickly wrapping up the video with some indices, we had an overall bearish week. As you can see, we have a bearish candle. Some of the stocks flushed, and as you can see from a daily time frame, we created a downtrend and a full hourly time frame as well. So I was looking into those areas right here. Like we had that break, we had that retest to potentially go up. But even on Monday, the market rode to the downside, and then failed to sustain. Then we rode down again, breaking and retesting these areas right here. But then we created a double bottom. And right now the market is trying to emerge above and to potentially turn bullish. Oops, let me go back to the hourly time frame. So I can see that there is a very strong supportive level right here, and that the market is currently emerging above this area right here. So for me, it's pretty important right now to see if the market is going to pull back, find support, and then to potentially start rolling to the upside, and potentially this break of trend line to be validated. And then on NASDAQ, we have absolutely the same situation. We have this double bottom right here. Then the market is currently, it pushed higher to create a lower high, but then it created a higher low instead after breaking this little structure. And right now we have emerged above, breaking this most recent structure. So right now I would expect the market to provide me with a little bit of a pullback and then potentially to start advancing higher. You can always draw trend lines, something like this, which are broken as well, which is pretty good to see. Even if you take it from right here, oops. If you take a trade from right here, it's still broken as well. So let's see if the market is going to pull back around those areas and then continue to trade higher. Alright guys, so this is for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and you found something helpful from the opportunities that I showed you and for the potential outcome of this week. Make sure to check the Tuesday analysis, which is shared on Telegram. The link is in the bio because there I provide you with a very quick analysis of how the market developed on Monday and what I will be looking on Tuesday. Alright, so make sure to like the video to support the channel. It really means a lot. Make sure to leave a comment, and I can't wait to see you on my next video, guys. Thank you for staying up until now. Really appreciate it, and have a crushing week.